Hello there, I'm Randall Quirk from Nature House. About a year ago, here in the heart of Winter Park, Florida, I designed this garden called Palmera, using some of the world's most beautiful tropical palms that are cold tolerant from Madagascar, Indonesian islands, and filled it with tropical bromeliads and flowering trees. It's amazing what happens in a year with good rain and good fertilizer and a little TLC. These stunning bromeliads in front of me are called yellow berries. They make 5-foot-tall inflorescences lasting months in flower, and in the mornings you can see hummingbirds come to pollinate the little flowers. A great ground cover is called Argentine ivy. It just forms a living carpet. And these peach-colored bromeliads are called petra. They are also from Central and South America. Beautiful kuti palms, a native Florida plant. And behind me, giant mule palms, which is actually a hybrid between a queen palm and the silver pindo palms. Let's take a little walk and we'll see some of the other amazing stuff flowering here in Palmera. We've stepped inside the other part of Palmera. In front of me is the classic bird of paradise. Here's a new spike getting ready to open. I always peel the old flowers back, so you just have nice new bird feathers as they open. And on older plants, they'll often shoot out an auxiliary floral spike, giving more meat to the bloom. Behind me is a tropical tree everybody needs in a Florida garden. It's Tibucina. It flowers twice a year, once in winter, once in summer, with this huge burst of purple flowers lasting almost 6 weeks. To the left of me is a beautiful palm from Ambon Island, in between India and Africa. It's cold tolerant, but looks extremely tropical. It's a clumping palm called Dipsis pembana. A lot of juicy stuff going on in this garden. Let's go see what else they got.
This is a new release, Echmea Big Ben. It makes a massive inflorescence, looks like a candy corn factory, which will double in size, almost equaling the biomass of the plant itself, lasting months in flower. It's featured here in the center of this tropical bromeliad garden.
One of the world's most astounding bromeliads, they often referred to as the silver sword, is Alcantarilla odoratum, which comes from the mountains of Baía Friburgo, north of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. This is covered with tens of thousands of little trichomes, which deflect the light, and it can grow in full sun, which it does on limestone cliffs. I use it as a relief color, so in a sea of green, you've got this beautiful silver sword. And when these monsters come into flower, they shoot up a 12-foot-tall branching inflorescence, pollinated by bats. That is not normal. When you live in Central Florida, sometimes you get a freeze. But coconuts can't take the cold. They freeze. But I want a giant coconut palm, so I found an option that looks almost the same. This is Beccariophoenix alfredii. They come from 3,000-foot plateaus in Madagascar, so they have the beautiful tropical look of a coconut palm, but can take the cold. They have been growing here for a year and are tremendous landscape specimens. And of course, we need some shrimp. So we have a little shrimp plant on both sides to give some color. Hope you enjoy it. Check out this bad boy. One of the world's most beautiful and sought-after bromeliad species. This is Alcantarilla imperialis, variety Malbec, like the beautiful wine that comes from Mendoza in Argentina. The grower has spent years intensifying the color in the tissue culture laboratory, turning the bottom of the fronds eggplant and the tops still remain mint green. Really a great landscape plant and one of my favorite plants in the world. Hello, Randall here, still, from Nature House. I'd like you to see the courtyard of this beautiful apartment complex. One of the most dazzling bromeliads recently released is this plant called Volcano in the Varesia family. It has striking variegated foliage, which is actually an introduced virus in the tissue culture lab, and a beautiful branching red inflorescence with mustard yellow flowers pollinated by hummingbirds cruising through the area. Will keep its color for months. We've got Japanese lilies around it, and the silver plants are actually air plants from Central America. Behind me are Kentiopsis palms from Ryukyu in Japan. They eventually will tower above this complex, but the fronds are completely upright, and it's a very dramatic, bold leaf. Over here we have a mandatory planting, Heliconia from the West Indies. This is called Heliconia St. Vincent. They like filtered light, are summer bloomers, but they produce these beautiful tangerine and strawberry rhubarb flowers, often lasting for well over a month, and they just keep coming all summer. Behind me, the classic Monstera leaf, one of the world's most iconic tropical leaves. Some people call it the Swiss cheese plant. A lot of things going on in this garden, and even Phalaenopsis orchids I wove onto the tree last year that are now at the end of flowering but still quite beautiful. One of my favorite palms is called Liquala. They come from Malaysia. These are deep, shady understory palms, but they have lovely toothed fans. The fronds are soft, but with massive spines on the branches. They're very slow growing. They make a lovely accent. And one of my favorite bromeliads to use in a landscape are these dark burgundy. They're called sanguinolenta in the Vresia family. These are grown for their foliage. Since this is a two-story complex, I wanted to take advantage of these beautiful old balustrades. So I planted Stephanotis, which grew all the way up to the second story and is now cascading across the balcony, producing these beautiful bundles of snow white flowers. These are super fragrant, not unlike a gardenia, and are often used in wedding bouquets. I wanted to give it the towering gardens of Babylon, so things are spilling down into the lower understory pieces.
This is truly a beautiful slice of paradise. This is Nature House, and I'm Randall Quirk.